Samatha Bhavana meditation to enter jhana. One who wishes to enter the jhanas must pass through 5 streams or 5 ladders. First the subject tries to hold the object, then the object is held well. Rapture arises, happiness arises, and tranquility arises. In calm the subject and object will unite. When the subject and object unite, this is called samadhi achieved. The understanding of samadhi itself is sam equals to be and adi equals 1. So samadhi means to be one, or the Javanese language as manungao. If the subject and object can become one, the jhana door will slowly open. When one enters the jhana, the subject and object are extinguished. The breath stops. It is so subtle that it can no longer be felt either by oneself or by others. The thought and feeling processes also stop. A light consciousness is like cotton flying around the body. If you are a master of consciousness, you can go to another realm and return at the speed of light. When one comes out of jhana, first perception and feeling arise. Then the breath begins to feel again, and finally the subject will return to holding the object, or the term goes back to the samadhi ceremony. 2. 5 currents or 5 stairs. Samatha Bhavana has 40 meditation objects. It is recommended that if you don't have a direct teacher, just use the most neutral object of all, namely the breath object. If you already have a direct meditation teacher, the teacher will choose an object according to the character or nature in question. While there are 4 kinds of meditation positions, namely sitting meditation, standing, walking, and sleeping. Usually people learn sitting meditation first and then learn anything else to support progress in meditation. 1. Trying to hold the object. Sitting with your eyes closed. The position of the legs crossed. If you want a full lotus cross, you can cross half a lotus, you can cross without squeezing. The important thing is to stay in one position. Don't keep changing positions because it will hinder progress. Breathing in knows that the breath in touches the tip of the nose, and the breath out knows that the breath out touches the tip of the nose. Make the tip of the nose as a place to know the entry and exit of the breath. Try really to concentrate like you are driving a car. If you don't concentrate on the dangers of a crash. So do concentration meditation, really don't daydream. Remind yourself about the dangers of a crash. If in collision meditation you don't get any progress if you keep daydreaming or the mind is allowed to wander. If you are serious, within 3 months, the first stream will pass. You can concentrate well. The object is clear, and this is called nimitta. You have caught it well. When learning to hold an object, the danger lies in daydreaming a lot. This is like a person driving a car without concentration can get an accident. So also if you learn meditation, you have to increase your concentration with enthusiasm in order to enter progress. If the mind wanders quickly, it is drawn back to the object. 2. Hold the object well. If the object is held well, like a security guard who guards the entrance. Everyone who enters and leaves must be marked and known. So the breath that goes in and out must be clearly known, and the contact of the breath with the tip of the nose as the door. While awareness the one who knows as the security guard. If it is continued properly, the breath that enters can be seen as clearly as possible from the first entering through the tip of the nose. Entering the throat, entering the chest, rotating in the stomach and returning to the chest, then out again through the chest, throat and again touching the tip of the nose. This is called being able to toy with objects. If the object is candlelight, then the candlelight can be enlarged, reduced, placed in the forehead as the power of fire. This is called a yogi, meditator, being in the ceremony of samadhi. The danger that needs to be maintained at the strength of concentration that has been formed is that it should not be used to concentrate objects that are not in place. For example, it is used for concentration of the opposite sex, because the person we are concentrating on can be restless and constantly pictured. This is when the power of goodness is abused. At this level of the power of concentration that has been held, also should not be focused on the sound. Often yogis will sometimes receive such as wangsit or orders through incoming voices. At this level usually the shamans play, namely dealing with lower beings. So if you hear any sound, just ignore it and go back to the original object. Because we don't want to be shamans or psychics. Also at this level, if one sharpens one's concentration, one will hear animal sounds. One can sometimes interpret sounds coming from animals. This is a perverted meditation if there is no good teacher to guide. So don't be distracted by anything, just concentrate on the object and just play with it well. 3. Excitement or pity arise. If a person has grasped the object well, is not distorted, is steadfast in good intentions and right efforts, then he will enter the third stream or the third ladder, namely rapture or pity. In this condition everyone experiences different experiences. Some have just experienced spark pity, but there are also those who experience it full. The sensations vary. Some are like light from the sky hitting the whole body, so that the body experiences vibrations. Some people see beautiful colorful lights, some feel light, like flying. Some feel lifted from a place. Sitting. Some have hairs on their necks all standing up. Some feel that their bodies are getting bigger or vice versa, their bodies are shrinking. On all these occasions a yogi need not be afraid, just be aware and return to the object. Often beginners who do not understand feel afraid and do not dare to meditate anymore. When in fact, this is the progress of meditation that will be experienced by the true meditator. It's okay, there's no need to worry, there's no need to be afraid, just keep on meditating. Even if you feel your body rising to the surface, don't be surprised and open your eyes, because for some people who have good parami for mental strength, when experiencing pity their body lifts up. If they are afraid and open their eyes, their body really rises up. And when he opened his eyes he would fall back down again. So if this is experienced, everyone should be aware that they are meditating. Just go back to the object so that your meditation moves forward to the next stage. Happy meditating right. 4. Happiness or sukha. When a person experiences true rapture, it is no longer sparks of rapture. He is no longer afraid, he is instead amazed and fascinated, as if seeing such a beautiful sight. He is at the peak of extraordinary pleasure, not the pleasures of lowly lust, which only lasted for a moment, but this pleasure lasted long enough. He was really tempted by this incident. After that his mind was light as cotton, he felt very happy. No more burdens, no more suffering, his mind was completely free. There is nothing blocking him anymore. He is like being in heaven. This is the fourth current ladder he is experiencing. It turns out that happiness and suffering only lie in the mind. A mind that has been trained diligently will cleanse the taints, and when it is clean, it is light as cotton, it is happy and happy, it has no negative burdens anymore, worry, anxiety, fear, confusion are really just taints. Mind, there is no longer any suffering, it is truly free. This goes on for a very long time, if the yogi does not stop and his meditation continues. He will enter the fifth ladder, which is upekkha or equanimity. 5. Upekkha, equanimity. It's like enjoying a really beautiful view. When we first saw it we were fascinated, amazed, this is pity. After that there is joy, this is sukha. After these two processes the mind begins to return to normal and balance, this is upekkha. There is one Zen language that expresses the attainment of this meditation. Before I went to the mountain, I knew the mountain was a mound of high hills. After I got to the mountain, the mountain was no longer a mountain, because I was already in it. After I came out of the mountain turned back into a mountain. Meaning that after an engagement of achievement and joy, the mind will return to normal, but normally it is normal for people to understand and understand. At this Upeka stage, the mind is no longer turbulent, like seawater, there are no more ripples. The mind is really stable and the subject and object are united. It is impossible to tell which subject and which object is, like a postage stamp that is firmly attached to the cover of a letter. The breath is me, I am the breath. Until the depths of breath are extinguished, thoughts, feelings, perceptions all stop. This world seems to have stopped moving. Calm, quiet, silent, even if something is dropped near us. The sound is felt across the ocean. If this stage is often experienced, then the door of jhana will soon open. Thus, a brief description of samatha bhavana meditation to enter jhana may be useful. See you again in another video on this channel, which is endeavored to contain true, good, and interesting knowledge, or maybe added something entertaining, with the hope that apart from being useful, it is not boring to watch. You can find this channel on YouTube by name Hermanahadi. Thank you very much for those of you who have watched this video. May you be healthy, happy, fond of doing good and eager to live life with a peaceful heart. Greetings.
Bersama Terima kasih.